What's going on, guys? And peace and blessings of Allah be upon you. So today in this tutorial I'm going to show you how we can add self-weight of a staircase or the loads which are there on the staircase in Etabs or Stat Pro, and how we can actually take that thing in consideration. So let's get started. So here I am in Revit. I want to just show you that how the staircase is going to be. Staircase is going to start from one of the beam and it's going to rest on another beam, which we usually say to be mid landing because it is in the middle, and then again it's going to rest on the top or next story beam. Again the process is going to repeat and repeat and repeat and so on and so forth. So basically the load is going to be something like this. On this beam you can see one of the steps are going to end and another step is going to stand. So basically the UDL is going to act completely like this, and another beam also UDL is going to act. So basically what we have to do here is you have to calculate what is the load which is getting from this particular slab. Let's see, I'm gonna go for kind of like this. Yeah, that's good. So you can see here, if you're seeing carefully, the load is going to act from this particular slab. If I'm more precise, then I'll draw that thing. So in this, yeah, in this particular slab the load is going to act, it's just going to act like a one-way slab because load is only distributing in one direction, like here and here. So only in the y direction. This is going to be my one-way distribution, and again this again going to be my one-way distribution. So let's get started. So here I am in Etabs. How you're going to do is, first of all, you're going to model these things like what is this distance 1.93 and 3.66 in your actually grids. So how you can model that thing is, let's go to edit, and after opening your grid systems you can go for edit stories and grid system, or from the starting itself you can do the same thing. So what I did was I actually modeled that thing in display grid data spacing. You can see here I just tried this D as 2 so that you can see it is actually 2, and this for us 4 meters as spacing. Like this spacing is actually 4 meters. So from where did I get that 4 meters is, again get back to, you can see here this is actually 3.6, so I took it a little bit more, so in my case it is 4. Once that part is done, I'm just going again back to my Etabs. I want to model that thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for a beam, and you can actually take whatever beam you want, and I'm going to model that thing. In my case I'm just taking all stories and just I'm taking a random beam. Then afterwards what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for columns, and in that thing you can again select whatever column you are going to model there. And after doing that thing, this staircase is actually kind of one-way slab, so you're going to model the one-way slab. So modeling the one-way slab, first of all you have to define the one-way slab. So how you can define it, just right click here in the slab, you can see here this is actually model, or directly you can go for define and then section properties, and that you can find slab sections. In that thing what you're going to do is you can go for add new property and just write down one-way slab, or you can see OWS as well, and then you can actually select the slab material M20 or whatever grade. I think you can know this thing how things are. Or if you want to ask me how to define the slab material as well, I can show you in any other tutorial. However, in this tutorial what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to model this slab. So let's go to this thing, like modeling type is going to be membrane, and when you select the membrane you can see here's use special and middle distribution. So we can actually model one this slab with the help of this particular thing. Next thing is slab thickness. Usually we take 6 inches or 5 inches for the staircase, not lesser than that thing. So I am done with all these things. Just I'm clicking on OK, and you can see here this is actually OWS, and click on again OK, and you can see I am having my slab. Now once the slab is ready, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for this thing, like drawing a slab, and I'm going to select not slab 1, it's going to be OWS, that what I have defined. When I'm clicking here, you can see here this slab is not having the proper orientation. The load should be distributed on this particular beam and this particular beam. So how we can do that thing? So let's get back to selection of this thing. Once you're done with the selection, you can go for assign. I think it's giving some problem. Oh, come on. Yeah, it's actually selected, and I'm going to go for assign, and then I'm going to go for frame loads. Oh, sorry, shell loads. And in that thing, usually on the stairs we'll be having certain loads. So what are these loads? Let us see. The first and the foremost thing is stairs will be having its own weight. We say that thing as self-weight with Etabs is going to take itself. Now the next load what staircase is going to have is live load and floor finishes load as well, and this is stairs load as well, because we are just modeling the the slab here. We didn't consider the steps. So steps plus floor finishes we usually think as 3.5 kilonewton per meter square. So I have actually defined load patterns. If you want to see how to define the load patterns, again I'm going to show you define load patterns, and you can see here I will be having dead and live by default. If you want to add the SDL, what you can do is just I'm going to delete this thing so that I can show you how things are going to be. So I'm going to go for writing here SDL, that's super dead load, and I'm going to select here the type as super dead load. And the next thing is what I'm going to do is just add new load. So that's done. I'm going to click on OK, and that load pattern is going to be available in our shells. So I'm going to go for uniform, and that thing you can see here I'm doing dead, live, and SDL. So what you have to do is you have to start with the live load. Usually stairs will be having 3 kilonewton per meter square according to Indian codes. So I'm going to select this 3 and click on apply. Now the next thing is I'm going to go for SDL, which is going to include the floor finishes and even my steps load. So that's I'm going to put here as 3.5 kilonewton per meter square. Just select that thing and again click on apply. So you have applied both of them, and that's done. You are done with your staircase. But the one thing is this load is not properly distributed. Like it's going to go for this beam and this beam, but I want it to be distributed on these two particular beams. So how to just make this thing kind of like vertical. So I'm going to select this thing assign and then go to shells. In that thing I am going to go for local axis. In that thing I can actually select that thing, just give here 90 degrees and click on apply. Usually you'll be having in starting 0, but you have to make this thing as 90. Then click on apply and you can see here it's done. So that's pretty much about how to model the staircase. Now it's going to perfectly be distributing on your this two particular beams. This is how we actually model the staircase. This bottom side obviously is not going to be there, and sorry, because it's all story, that's the reason it's going to act like kind of like that. So I'm going to select everything, kind of only this thing, and first of all assign joint and restraints and fixed, apply, okay, and selecting this particular slab, delete, and analyze it so that I can show you how things are going to be. I'm going to just write here somewhere, maybe anything. Okay, here we go. Yeah, you can see here how the things are going to be. If I'm going to show you payment diagram, apply, okay, and you can see here this doesn't have that much except it's self-weight, but you can see this beam is actually having the perfect bending moment. So it means that the load is transferred on these two particular beams. So that's pretty much about today's tutorial. This is how you put the load for the staircase. In next tutorial, if you are asking me how I can model the staircase manually in the Excel sheet, I can show you how the things are going to be. But if you're interested, I can show you that thing. Otherwise, if you want anything else, then I can show that thing. Until that, peace be upon you. Bye.